BrightAuthor 3.0 brings with it many new features that are easy to learn, easy to integrate, and can go a long way in enhancing your presentations. New features range from content updates using Twitter feeds and live text, to improved presentation workflow using dynamic playlists and media lists. Please note BrightAuthor 3.0 or later is required for use with Brightsign models announced in April 2012 or later, and it is encouraged for use with all models. Let's get started. One of the most convenient ways to update messaging within your live presentations is via a Twitter feed. Imagine having the power and convenience to change your presentation title or one line of content on the fly from any device that can publish a tweet, including your smartphone. The Twitter function is usable with the ticker element. Here's how to set it up. First, create a presentation with the ticker zone. In the Edit tab, select the ticker zone. Within the media library for this zone, you'll see a Twitter option that can be added to the playlist. Once added, you'll be prompted to input the Twitter username. You'll also see the name of the Twitter account and the Twitter icon in the playlist. You could in fact line up a schedule to pull from different Twitter accounts for different parts of the day. And that's it. Bear in mind that, unlike live text blocks, ticker feeds are more limited in function and styling options. The live text function allows you to author text elements for your presentation from right within BrightAuthor without the need of an external graphics application. Live text supports both static text elements and dynamic text from RSS feeds or web-hosted XML to change your messaging on the fly. Common uses for this function include quickly updating prices on menu boards, changing flight data and times, updating manufacturing status, and more. To use live text, drag the live text icon from the Other tab to the playlist area. Live text can be added to video, ticker, and image zones. Then just set the following parameters. Here you'll give your live text file a unique name. Check this checkbox if you'd like to make this live text your home screen. Click Browse to locate and select a background image for your live text. Use this drop-down list to set how often you want to update your RSS text feeds. Click this button to immediately update all RSS feeds. Adjust the size of your text fields. W corresponds to the width of your text field, and H corresponds to the height of the text field. You can also use variables in live text to display any variable value. There are a couple new features of live text to note. First, optional background text color. Unlike previous versions of BrightAuthor, background color on text fields are now optional with a checkbox found here. If you do choose to include one, the transparency setting will become enabled to allow you to edit the transparency of your background text color. If you choose not to include a background text color, the letters and numbers of the text fields will appear directly over the background image. Secondly, new Previous and Next buttons. Previous and Next buttons allow you to quickly and easily step through the text data field in your connected XML document. This is a huge time saver when setting up your live text feeds for large amounts of contiguous data feeds. Zone messages allow you to pass messages and commands from one zone to another within your presentation. While the Link Zones command provides tightly timed synchronization of zones, it cannot be used in a multiple screen presentation. Zone messages, however, can be used and are quite flexible. For instance, when a certain slideshow plays in your image zone, you may want to tell your audio zone to play a specific MP3. You may even want to send a variable along with that command, which is also possible since zone messaging supports variables as well. BrightAuthor 3.0 offers a new useful command: switch to presentation. Previously, changing the presentation on a given unit required a scheduled presentation change or a republishing of the presentation that was being used. Now you can easily use any event to call a whole new presentation. Transition times to the new presentation are very quick. One example is quickly moving from a 3-zone presentation to a full-screen presentation and quickly moving back as needed. It's very important to remember that presentations must have the same resolution settings and ideally the same frame rate settings. Differences in resolution will trigger a unit reboot, and frame rate differences can present challenges for certain types of displays. Dynamic playlists allow multiple Brightsign presentations to reference a single playlist hosted on a Brightsign network on the fly. For instance, suppose you need to include a daily announcement or special into the beginning of your presentations that play on all Brightsign units throughout your establishment. Dynamic playlists allow you to upload that playlist once to the Brightsign servers and have it automatically pulled into the determined point in all presentations using that dynamic playlist element. Here's how to set it up. Click the Create tab in the upper left portion of the screen. On the menu bar, click File, New Dynamic Playlist. You can also open previously created dynamic playlists by clicking File, Open Dynamic Playlist. You can then make edits to the playlist. Add files to your media library by clicking the Browse button and selecting a folder that contains the files you want to include in your dynamic playlist. Drag the files to the playlist area. Click the Upload to Network button in the upper right portion of the screen. Now that your dynamic playlist is created and hosted on the Brightsign network, it's ready to be used in your unit presentations. Simply drag the dynamic playlist element to the desired spot in your presentation. You'll see the available dynamic playlists from your Brightsign account, including the playlist you just created and uploaded. Media lists allow you to group multiple media files into a single asset, making interactive presentation management and flowcharting much cleaner and easier to visualize. For all intents and purposes, a media list will appear and integrate into an interactive project as a single video. Underneath, however, will be a full list of media files. All media types must be the same within a media list, so there are specific media list elements for video, images, and audio. There are several settings and options to define how the media list will behave within your presentation. First, you'll want to give your media list a name. You can also set this media list as the initial state. The next few options are important in defining the list behavior. By default, the behavior of the media list is to play one file in the list upon being transitioned to, and then exit back out and resume with the rest of your master presentation. Subsequent transitions to the same list will play the next media file in the playlist order, then again return to the master playlist after, and so on. To instead have the list play through all media files before exiting back out, check Advance to Next Item on Media End Event. To change the behavior to always begin with the first file in the list, select the Play from Beginning on Entry to State option. Finally, to play media files within the list in a random order, select Shuffle Playback. It's of interest to note that this is the one and only random function available in BrightAuthor. This function can be used anytime an entirely random media file of a specific type is needed. Below that, you have options to transition to next or previous list items based on a number of event options, to create, as an example, controls for the viewer to advance or step back in the media list. Below that are the settings to navigate to your media library and to create the actual list of media files. Please read the BrightAuthor 3.0 user guide for additional information about presentation creation features, including creation of interactive menus, adding event handlers, and more. The BrightAuthor 3.0 user guide can be downloaded here. And please watch BrightAuthor 3.0 Media and Logging Tools video tutorial to learn about additional BrightAuthor 3.0 features for publishing, managing, and monitoring your Brightsign installations.